Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. You join me on the ground here in Detroit in the beautiful Indy A330 with the beautiful Delta livery. We are going to be taking this bird over to Dublin tonight for the Phantom Cross the Pond 2024 or 2025 westbound. And you may be asking, wait a minute, Dublin or Detroit to Dublin is eastbound. Why yes, because today is Thursday the 24th of April and cross the pond is 26th of April. So we are taking this 330 over to Dublin so that we can take it back for VATSIM Cross the Pond. So it's going to be a two-part journey. First from Detroit to Dublin, and then on across the pond from Dublin to Detroit. So I'm looking quite forward to it. So the boarding is still underway. The sun is currently setting, so let's take a look at our flight plan for today. So a bit of a southerly routing today. As you can see, we're not using the NatTrat system because we're simulating this flight as if we did it last night. As we're not in real time. It's currently 10 a.m. local time in Detroit when I'm recording, and we're simulating as it's about 9 o'clock right now. So I can see we're taking Detroit. We're going to be departing southerly. We're going to be taking it eastbound all the way to Dublin. Our ETOPS alternates today is going to be Stevensville, La Palma. Is it La Palma? I don't know. Somewhere in the Azores Islands, and then Dublin. The reason we're not using St. John's or Shannon, the weather is not great for those alternates, so we can't take them. They are below legal minimums. In terms of our weather that could be affecting us today, potentially some icing in the first bit, some nice jet streams for the entirety of the flight today. In Area 1, just after the departure, might trip flight full 400, so we can probably expect to keep our seatbelts on for a little bit longer after departure. As you can see, some very nice tailwinds for us today with these jet streams. And once again, as we get into Dublin, no significant weather over the Atlantic. Again, just some nice tailwinds. And then descending into Dublin, we can expect some severe icing from ground to 180, and moderate icing up to 200 as well. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. And there's a descent into Dublin. We have a pretty nice tailwind the entirety of the way. Average wind component is 30 knots, I believe. And then here is our altitudes and speeds. I believe when we get to Jupi, we're planning on stopping to 400. That's not in the sim brief plan, but it's just what makes sense. And then you can see we're above the tropopause for most of the flight, which is nice and convenient. So boarding is probably about to finish. So let's get on inside and get this bird going to Dublin. We are a bit behind schedule, so we better get going quickly. So here we are in the cockpit. The APU is currently off. We have all the weights filled in. We're just waiting to do our takeoff briefing and takeoff performance. Let's just see how many passengers we have left. We literally have one more passenger to go before boarding completes, which is perfect. So boarding is now complete, so let's definitely go ahead and get the APU running now. So we were supposed to be departing about 20 minutes ago, but that's okay. We got more than enough time to catch up. So let's take a look at this OFP. So today we're going to be taking 46 tons of fuel. Not really for the weather, but because we are quite delayed. And you can see here, speed change cost of the next 400 is plus 2,300 kilograms, and for every 1,000 kilograms you have to bring an extra 200 kilograms of fuel. So we're just bringing an extra 3,000 kilograms of fuel to shave off that extra time since we are a bit delayed. And once we go up to level 400 at Jupi, we can expect some extra tailwinds. We do have to take about 3 tons of ETOPS fuel because our alternates are so far apart due to the poor weather, unfortunately. And besides that, we're planning to depart from 22 right, and we're expecting to land on 10 left. So let's go ahead and sync everything up. Let's just confirm that's the correct takeoff distance. So 22 right is 3048, so that works. And runway heading is 216. I don't know why this tablet can never get it right. And the wind, for some reason, doesn't have it in. Wind is variable at 3 knots, so we'll assume it's a 3 knots tailwind, so we'll do 0 for 0 at 3, temperature 18, and then the altimeter is now 3019, which is 102. 31022 is fine, that's a lower. Oh, I didn't put it in the APU. And then gross weight is 187.5. So let's put that in here, 187.5. Air conditioning on. We'll start with flaps 1. Flex 53 with flaps 1. Flex 58 with flaps 2. Flex 58 with flaps 3, so we're going to take flaps 3. What does the air conditioning do? Okay, we're going to keep air conditioning on flaps 2, which goes 424346. We can send it over to the FMC. So 424346, we can confirm that. Takeoff data is uplinked. So yeah, flaps 2 up 4.2 on the trim, and we can go ahead and do our takeoff briefing. APU is now available, so we can go ahead and get some air going into the cabin. So we are on the south ramp here, since we're flying Delta. We're in stand Alpha 36, I believe. No, Alpha 38. So we're going to push back facing to the north onto Uniform 9, taxi out via Uniform 9, and it's going to be out via Bravo, then Victor, then Alpha, all the way holding point Alpha 7 for runway 22 right. Pretty simple taxi. We're going to be departing via the Howe for departure. So it's going to be straight ahead to intercept the 161 to Winners, which is max 230 knots, 2,500 or above. So our clean's 220, so we can be flaps up for Winners, no problem. Then from Winners to UC, then to Surf, which is below 7,000. UC is about 4,000, which is good. Then to Howe. Am I missing something? Surf. Oh, sorry. This is Multiba. Okay, I don't know why that's 2,200. That's quite low. So Malt, then to Howe, and then it's going to be the Lincoln transition, which we should be at our top climb. No, we won't be at our top climb. So, unique thing with the Detroit, turbojet departures at or above 10,000, maintain 280 until advised by ATC. So there's no ATC, so we don't have to worry about that whatsoever. And initial climb is 17,000, but usually in the States they like to give you initial climb 5,000 and then clear you as needed afterwards. And the MSA is going to be 3,000. In terms of engine out procedure, it's going to be straight ahead. The PBD point is 25 miles straight ahead from runway 22 right. So I should put a hold into there. Yep, that looks good. And that's going to be climbing to 3,000. It's going to be ADP 2, so accelerating at 1,000 feet AGL, and engine acceleration is 2,200 feet, which I don't plan on having an engine failure, so we will not be expecting that. So that's our briefing complete. Let's go ahead and get GSX to push us, and we can go ahead and pull up the checklist.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
Okay, so cockpit preparation checklist. Gear pins and covers are removed. Fuel quantity. So let's get rid of the external power, get all the fuel pumps on. Get the beacon, seatbelt sign is on, which is good.
Check completed.
So, fuel quantity is oh my god, I cannot speak. 45,980 kilograms distributed evenly. The signs are on, and auto adheres. Our nav barrel fit altimeter 3019 cockpit preparation checklist is complete. Let's go ahead and do a diff riffs check. So diff riffs, data init, flight plan, init B, rad nav, fuel predict, secondary flight plan. So we're checking the status page with the correct nav database. Init page, all of these are filled in. Flight plan, we are I need to fix the call sign. We are Delta 292. So Delta 292, distance in the FMC is 3190. We're not waiting for pushback just yet. Ground distance is 3,200, so that's good. The time is about 45 minutes off, but that's just because the INI is not very good at predicting time. So RadNav, I don't think we need anything for departure. We have the ILS for 22 right in there. Init B is all filled. Fuel predict, we're expecting not enough at Dublin, but that's also because we're expecting to be flying for an extra 45 minutes according to the FMC, and then the engine out procedure is inserted. So before start, checklist park and brake is set, takeoff speeds and thrust V1142, rotate 143, V2146, flex 60, strike correction 50, windows and doors are closed, and then beacon is on. So before start, checklist is complete. We are cleared to push onto uniform 9 facing to the north.
Release parking brakes.
And I'm just going to make sure that the GPU is released. Brakes released when push.
All engines clear. Start at will.
I will. This is the inibuilds Detroit scenery, compatible for 2024. Very nice scenery. I've been to Detroit many times in the sim. I'm not sure if I've been to Detroit real life. I may have once, I'm not sure. The sun is nicely setting. So let's go ahead and get our engines fired up. After I get a screenshot though. So ignition starts. Starting engine 1. Very nice. Luckily, nobody's being adjusted in the first engine, but once I start this one, they will not be having a good day. It was very smart of him to stop right there. There, nice screenshot. Potential thumbnails here. And let's get back in the cockpit.
Set parking brakes.
Brakes are set.
Waiting your confirmation for good engine
Cockpit's
Start
start.
engine 2.
We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
Unfortunately, the start sounds in this A330 are very underwhelming. I don't even think I heard a sound from inside the cabin. At least it sounds nice from the exterior. So looking like it's going to be a good start on engine number 2.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass bin removed.
Thank you.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
And engine 2 is it. Engine 2 is avail. And now we're just waiting on the pin for after start to close. Which is going to be right there. Thank you for the pin. After start close. Trim is set 4.2. Wait for the flaps to extend. Then we'll get the weather radar on. train on the first officer. Wait for the slots to extend to do takeoff config check. There we go. Perfect. So after start, anti-ice is off, not required. ECAM status is checked. Pitch trim is up 4.2. Rudder trim is neutral. After start checklist is complete, we are cleared to taxi. So brakes released. Clear left. Clear right. We'll add a little bit of breakaway thrust. And I will go ahead and give you guys a bit of a shortcut to when we are ready for the before takeoff checklist. Okay, so we are about to cross runway 22 left, which is an active runway. Well, in real life, not today since we are offline, but we'll pretend anyways. So right side is clear, left side is clear, and the approach path is clear. So we'll go ahead and cross, and we'll turn the strobes off on the other side. After we cross, we'll go ahead and do our flight control check. Let's get some tilt on the weather radar. 5 degrees. Some nice pink and purple clouds in the background. I do love 2024's lighting system quite a lot. Okay, so now that we have crossed, we're going to do a flight control check. It's full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral. I apologize, my taxiing is a bit janky. My tiller is assigned to my control column as well. So rudder, full left, neutral, full right, neutral. So flight controls, or check this to the taxi checklist. Flight controls are check flap setting config 2 radar PWS is on and auto. Apologies. Engine start selector is normal. ECAM memo is takeoff no blue. So taxi checklist is complete. Now we're just holding on the lineup checklist, which we will do once we are lining up. So I'll give you guys a bit of a shortcut to then. Okay, so we'll pretend like we've been cleared for takeoff. So runway entry procedures, lights are on. TCAS is TARA. Lineup checklist, takeoff runway is runway 22 right. TCAS is TARA. Packs are on. Engines. Before our lineup checklist is complete, we are cleared for takeoff. So let's go ahead and make our way onwards to Dublin. So runway is clear. Approach path is clear. Lovely. Let's not taxi off the taxiway, Brandon. Go ahead and swing our plane around. And as usual, I didn't oversteer enough. That's okay. Let's start the clock and the chrono. Let's go to Dublin. 50%. Stabilize. Man, flex 58, SRS runway, auto thrust blue. Thrust is set. Knots. I really do wish the engine sounds were a bit louder, but what can you do? I swear they're somehow louder in the 300. Made by inibuilds. Bit of a left crosswind. Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Nav. Disarm the spoilers. There's our left turn out. Thrust declimb to climb out blue auto thrust. Flaps 1. Go ahead and get rid of the taxi lights. And flaps 0. And the ATC's told us to climb via SID, which is up to 17,000. Autopilot 1, climb out magenta. And we're accelerating to 230 knots, which is good. There's the Detroit airport behind us there. The city will be in the background. Probably won't be able to see much of the city today, unfortunately. Reset the chrono since we're in climb power now, and off we go. So Winters is above 2,500, which we are already. Then Wissy is going to be above 4,000, or UC, sorry. And honestly, we're just going to take open climb because we don't need to care about the surf restriction, and then we'll bring it all the way up to 390, which is our initial cruise altitude. So open climb out cruise. So here we are flying over the city pretty much, I assume. Big rail yard right there. Not sure where exactly the downtown is. I think it's more over here. I could be wrong though. Nonetheless, a very populated area of the world, with a beautiful sunset to admire as we climb out to Dublin. Or out of Detroit, I should say. Don't think the sounds are loaded in properly at the moment, which is kind of annoying. I love streaming aircrafts from the internet. So we are just about to cross surf, so we can go ahead back into manage climb. So climb, and like I said from the briefing, Detroit has the restriction of 280 knots until advised by ATC, but there is no ATC on today. In fact, I'm flying offline, so that does not apply to us. So let's go ahead and copy the active, and we can go ahead, since there's not really much going on, we can start to look at our Atlantic crossing so that I don't have to bore you guys with that in cruise. May as well just get it over all in one now. So, where am I looking? Right, I'm going down to here. So I believe it was not Tango, but we're not doing that today since the track is out of date, and we're simulating that this is about 12 hours in the past, or behind live time. So we're starting at Jupy, so let's bring up Jupy. So right now I have a step climb plan to fly level 400 for Jupy, as we're now passing 10,000. Let's take the landing lights off. Flight level 400 for Jupy. Right now it's about 390, but that should easily go up to flight level 400 by the time we get to Jupy. So Jupy to 49 north, 50 west, which is 49 north, 50 west, then to 50 north, 40 west. So I'm going to do this from here. 50 north, 40 west, which is checked, then to 31 north, 30 west, which is checked, to 53 north, 20 west, which is also checked, then to Dilgal and Bexit. So the reason I'm just clicking on these is to make sure that the coordinates are all correct, so that we're not flying to places that we don't want to be. So now we're just going to do a distance and track check. So from Jupy to 49 north, 50 west is going to be a distance of, I believe, 488. Oh, a bit of a lag. Nope, that's not right. Not here, no. So it's going to be a distance of 85, which checks a distance of 84 there, with a track of 85, so 094. The tracks usually don't correlate very well from the sim brief to the FMC, so we're just going to do a distance check. Then from 4950 to 5040 is going to be about 294, or 394, apologies, which is good. And from 5040 to 5130 is going to be a distance of 486. 386. Man, my math is not very good today. Yeah, 386. Then from 5130 to 5320, it's going to be a distance of 75, 313. So it's going to be about a distance of, my brain is not working, 388, which is right here, which is good. And then from 53 north, 20 west to Dogal is then 188. Yep. So 188 is checked. So those all look good. So let's now go ahead and go into the pilot stored waypoints and get our ETOPS set up here. So new waypoint. We're going to be setting up our ETOPS entry for Stevensville, which is going to be north 4920.6. So it's going to be ETOPS entry point 1. And I already forgot the coordinate. So it's going to be north 4920.6. And you know what? I'm just going to pull up on the tablet here to make my life a little bit easier, so I don't have to keep panning back and forth. So let's bring this all the way down. So ETOPS entry point, and then so we have that, and then it's going to be west 047258. So that's ETOPS entry point 1. Then we're going to do it at equal time point 1. Or let's put 01, which is going to be north 49590, which is going to be between Stevensville and I believe it's called La Palma. No, La Hez. I don't know where I got La Palma from. And then it's going to be west 040174, 040174.4. So we go ahead and store. And then the ETOPS or equal time point 02 is going to be north 5127.1, 5127.1 slash west 02808.4, 02808.4. So we go ahead and store. And then the last waypoint is going to be ETOPS exit point 1, which is going to be north 5318.8, north 5318.8 slash west 01833.9, 01833.9. So store, let's do one last check. Oh, actually that's not what I wanted to do. Not what I wanted to do. So next waypoint. So ETOPS entry point 1, 4920.6, 4725.8, 4958.6. Huh? Oh, that's the same. 4950.90 and 4017.4, 5127.1, 2808.4. and 5318.8 and 1833.9. So all those points are in there correctly. So let's go ahead and put them into our fix info. So our first airport is going to be Stevensville. So Charlie Yankee Juliet Tango. And it's going to be, we're just going to have a fixed ring of 256 nautical miles around it. And I forgot to pull standard on the altimeter, which I should probably do. And I'll go ahead and release the passengers. For Stevensville, and let's take a look at. So what I like to do is I put the largest fixed ring around, which is 256 nautical miles, and then I like to look at the forecast weather for which runway it's going to be preferencing. So by the time we get there, about 280 degrees, and then the best runway is going to be 27, so we're going to put radial 091, and we're going to put ETOPS entry point 1, and we'll just put a 5-mile ring around it, and then let's see which one will be next. So if you're curious what I'm doing, I'm putting all of these waypoints in. So I'm putting Stevensville in here, the ETOPS entry point here. Here, I'm going to make this a bit bigger for you guys. So like I said, Stevensville here, ETOPS entry point is here, and then we're going to do equal time point 1. So ETP1. And of course it's not going, oh right, ATP01. And put a 5-mile ring around that, and then after that we're going to put Lima, or La Hez in there, Lima Papa Lima Alpha, put 256 nautical miles, and we'll do a quick look at the forecast for which runway they'll be wanting from us. So TAF 310 degrees. So it will be then runway 33, so we'll then put radio 151. So that's all that we can put at this time, unfortunately, since we can only put 4 fixed infos in. Beautiful sunset as we climb off into the Atlantic. So let's go into plan mode, so I'm going to show you what I've been doing. So let's bring this all the way out to Jupy. So you can see here, you can't really see actually. So here is Stevensville, and the radial I've put out is what would be the runway that we would be landing on if we had to divert to Stevensville. As you can see, we have a step climb around Jupy, and then there's our ETOPS entry point 1, which is, as you can see right there, with the little ring around it to make it a bit more visible. So that's when we are entering 60 minutes away from Stevensville. After that, there's our ETOPS, or equal time point between Stevensville and Lajes. And wait, no, we can't actually see Lajes on the plane mode since it's too far south to be able to display. So as of right now, the NAT FSS is on for Shanwick and Gander on VATSIM. We are unfortunately very far away from that. We're expecting to be at Jupy, which is our oceanic entry point, at 2 hours and 53 minutes into the flight, so we won't even be able to request oceanic clearance from them for another 2 hours. So if we do get the ability to request clearance from them in 2 hours, then I will do that. If not, then we'll just continue on as necessary. And one last thing before I send you guys off, we are going to be going quite fast today, since we are currently, I believe, 45 minutes behind schedule. So Costa Next 400 is what we're going to be flying at, which is going to take away 21 minutes of flight time, which is quite considerable, which is why we brought all the extra fuel. So I already did this beforehand. Costa Next 15 and Simbrief for some reason gave us Mach Decimal 7.8, even though Indy wants us to do Mach Decimal 8.0. But when I put it into Simbrief again, Costa Next 400 is going to be a cruise at Mach Decimal 8.4, so that's what we are going to go ahead and pre-select. Alright, actually I can't put that in manage, I have to put that in pre-select, so Mach Decimal 8.4 into the pre-select. Which is beautiful, and climbing at Mach Decimal 8 is fine by me. So that's it for this departure section. And so I'm going to give you guys a nice little time lapse of the sunset, and then hopefully, eventually, the sunrise into Dublin. So I will come back to you if anything important happens, like requesting oceanic clearance or anything along those lines. But besides that, I'm probably going to go into declimb 1, since we are climbing quite sluggishly right now. So that'll give us an extra couple of percent to climb with a little bit quicker. And so I will see you guys in a little bit. So either, like I said, requesting our oceanic clearance or on our descent preparation into Dublin. So I hope you guys enjoyed the time lapse, and I will see you guys in what for you guys will be a couple minutes, but for me at least 2 hours, if not 6. So bye for now. Shannon Control, hello, it's Delta 292 Heavy, for level 410.
Delta 292 Shannon, hello, squawk 0516.
0516 Delta 292. So, welcome back everybody. As you can see, we have just contacted Shannon Control. We are currently flight level 410. We are expecting to be landing in the next 45 minutes, it looks. Or, no, sorry, 35 minutes. We've gained some pretty good time. We're about 20 minutes ahead of our expected flight time. That's because we've been cruising at Mach decimal 84 this whole time. But I believe we are still... Let me take a look here. We're still about... probably about 20 minutes delayed when we land, which is not too bad considering we took off for 45 minutes of delay. So, the current ATIS...
Run 83CX, I clear direct to Ulfit.
The current ATIS... Actually, I'm going to pull up Navigraph for you guys.
Say again, please. On that 830.
Making this and big.
Run 83CX, I route direct to Ulfit.
And I'll turn down the ATC so you can hear what I'm saying. So, latest Dublin information. This information, Foxtrot at local time 200 Zulu. Like I said before, we're not on real world time. We're landing runway 10 left, takeoff 210 right. We're expecting 10 left, so expecting to vacate November 3, intrusion level 60. 130 at 9. Temperature 11, QNH 1019 is all set into the MCDU, and some taxiway closures that will not affect us. So we are expecting the Alapo, I believe. Is that what it's called? Yeah. The Alapo 3 Romeo arrival. Is it 3 Romeo? Yeah, Alapo 3 Romeo. So from Alapo, which is below level 170, to Apidu, which is max 220, then to Adnal, max 228,000, then to Arput, Delta Whiskey 865, 866, then to IFBAP, which is 220 knots, 4,000 and above, which is the IAF for the approach. So from IFBAP above 4,000 is to Suboff, which is 4,000, max 220 knots, then to Beza, which is above 3,000 for the ILS, or 10 left, 3-degree glide. Minimums for Cat Delta, which is what we are, is 515 feet. Visibility required is 600 meters, which we have. Missed approach is straight ahead to Delta Whiskey 906, 907, 908, max 200 knots. This climb is 3,000 into Bataf, climbing to 4,000. The ILS frequency is 10955 Indian November Delta Lima. We have the Dublin VOR on standby and the Collinstown VOR and the standby as well. In terms of landing performance, we're going to plan a flap 3 auto brake low, and as per the ATIS, plan to vacate via November 3. We can expect a taxi in by November 3, Foxtrot, and then it'll be... I just need to get the other charts for you guys. I need to get the stands east, and I need to get that here for the where we're parking. So we're going to be parking down here. So as I said, taxi in, I believe that's November. Yeah, taxi by November to Foxtrot Outer, then on the Foxtrot. And it's going to be, I believe it's Link 1 Tango to one of these, or Link 2 onto, what taxiway is this? Whatever taxiway this is. And then one of the 400 stands, I'm not sure quite which. And we are just approaching a top stand, so let's go ahead and request descent. Delta 292, request descent.
Delta 292 Shannon, descend flight level 170.
Descent level 170, Delta 292. Okay, so initially the 170, and I apologize if that was really faint. I forgot to turn his voice up again. So as you can see, we have some very lovely weather in front of us, which is going to be quite the show. Let's just pull up a Navigraph here. Actually, it doesn't show weather on Navigraph on here, so that's great. So let's do this manage at decimal 84. Decimal 84 slash. Nope. Okay, so we'll do this. Now we'll go ahead and descend all the way back down. And we're about to go into the clouds now, so we'll go ahead and retract the sunshades. Yeah, so it looks to be a bit of a cell right over top of Olapo, so we might have to ask for some deviation for that. Probably won't be the nicest to be flying through. So looking again into the weather charts that I showed you at the very beginning of this flight. So in our descent we can expect moderate icing up to flight level 200 and potentially severe icing up to flight level 180. So as pretty much as soon as we enter cloud cover we will be putting at least engine anti-ice on, and if we definitely before Olapo, then we are going to want to have some wing anti-ice, most likely, because we don't want any chances with severe icing. That would not end up very well for us. So I'm going to probably speed up the descent a little bit for you guys to make it so you guys don't have to wait so long during the boring stages. Before we do that, let's get our engine anti-ice on, since we're about to enter cloud level. And actually static temperature is still below negative 40, so we can leave that for now. So nice little shortcut for you guys, and I'll see you soon.
2553 Romeo, hello, we'll call you back in 1 second. Break Delta 292, contact Dublin 129.180, bye-bye.
129.180, Delta 292. Okay,
2553 Romeo, hello, cleared
129.180.
Manchester off runway 06, it's the Guinea Tree Alpha departure, squawk 7704.
Dublin approach, hello, it's Delta 292. Information, Foxtrot descending, flight level 170.
Delta 292, Dublin Control, good evening, identified handover from Shannon, continuing bound to Olapo 3 Romeo, arrival, free ILS, runway 10 left.
Okay, continue direct to Olapo 3 Romeo, ILS 10 left, Delta 292. There we go, so we now have engine anti-ice on as we're about to enter cloud cover, and we are above static temperature of negative 40 now. As you can see, somehow the heavens have opened up for us in terms of weather radar. You gotta love this. It's just not that great, unfortunately. The depiction just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I guess it's better than nothing, you could say, but oh well. So we can very likely expect a shortcut from Olapo. Probably something direct to IFBAP or Delta Whiskey 866. I know when landing on 2.8s, they love to cut you into the circle a little bit, and they love to write you direct to some waypoint over here. I can't remember, so we can probably expect a direct to IFBAP and then fly the IFBAP transition, or we can just something around that. Regardless of what happens, we are expecting a shortcut. Because this is a beautiful bird, to say the least. If you guys enjoy watching my content, make sure that you... Ooh.
Delta 292, after Olapo, you can route direct to Suboff.
After Olapo, direct Suboff, Delta 292. Okay, so just as I expected, so after Olapo, Sierra Uniform Bravo Alpha Foxtrot, next waypoint. Okay, I spelled it wrong. Suboff. Sierra Uniform Bravo Oscar Foxtrot, next waypoint. Insert. So there we go. So we're going to be quite high now, which is perfect. So I'm not quite sure why it's reducing at 250 knots. It shouldn't be. There's no speed restriction at Olapo, so we're just going to pull full speed. Keep it at 280, and we're going to go managed or open descent even. And we'll get the landing system on now as well. Let's just pump this up to 300 knots, really get us down. Oops.
Hello, run first, keep passing 1,700.
Delta 3 Whiskey, Dublin, good evening, identified on departure. Continue
Yeah, so
on
here comes our
the
speed, come down quite,
flight level 110.
Difference in altitude that we need to get down, so we're about 2,000 feet high right now. We'll go ahead and get the landing lights on now so I don't forget. So I very likely will if I don't.
Delta 292, descend out 3,000 feet, level by Suboff, QNH Dublin 1019.
Descend 3,000 feet, level Suboff 1019, Delta 292. Okay, so I'm going to get a little bit of speed breakout now, take a quarter, and then he wants us 3,000, that's Suboff. Which we should be able to make no problem. So now we are still 3,000 feet high. So we got a quarter speed breakout right now, which should help us come down ever so nicely. So let's go ahead and get engine anti-ice on, since we're going to be entering visual moisture. Actually, 10 is above 12 degrees somehow, so we don't need that.
Shamrock 3 Whiskey, correction, Ryanair 3 Whiskey, left turn now, direct both of them.
So there is 250 knots, so that's great. Let's activate the approach phase. So I'm going to take full speed brake now. And we'll dial 250 knots so we can keep descending. Why? That's fine. Let's get descent in here. Push out open descent. Let's get her down. We got 15 miles to go. So yeah, it should be doable to get down to 3,000, no problem. How high are we? Yeah, 2,092.
You have 13 track miles run for the ILS from Suboff, clear to establish ILS runway 10 left. Number 1, report established.
Via Suboff, cleared for ILS 10 left, report established, Delta 292. Okay, so that's perfect, so we can approach now, and we can go ahead and do the approach checklist as we now enter IMC. So, approach checklist bar ref is QNH 1019er is set 3 times. Seatbelts are on, the minimum is 515, auto brake is low, engine start selector is normal. So approach checklist is complete. See how high we are now, 1,600 feet high. That's good, we're coming back down. And I'm going to dial back the brightness of the displays, since it's pretty much overcast in Dublin right now. So the screens are going to be quite bright if I don't adjust them. Much better. So we got 9 miles to go to Suboff and 2,500 to go. So we should be making this no problem. So looking at the approach chart, Suboff, how many miles out is Suboff? Suboff is going to be 14 miles out. So we're going to be descending all the way down to 3,000, and then we're just going to be leveling right off to continue our deceleration, which should come out quite nicely. Actually, we are back on profile now. So let's...
Shamrock 2 Romeo Charlie, contact Scottish Control 135.580, not good night.
Let's go manage speed.
Ryanair 3 Whiskey, climb flight level 170.
Nice breakout through the clouds.
170 on F4 Whiskey.
14 degrees, quite nice. And we'll take flaps 1 when available.
And Ryanair 3 Whiskey, it'll be level 170, handoff to Scottish. There's traffic ahead, level at 1. Sorry, it'll be 170 for you. for handoff, for higher with Scottish, there's traffic ahead. Flight level 210, traffic descending
That looks quite cool.
off your
That
right
was cloud.
side. He's at level 270.
Or that's copy on that first.
So speed's coming back, and we're still ascending 3,000. I'm just gonna go vertical speed, make sure that we get down in time. So 1,000 feet per minute should be good. We're gonna be there in. It's quite weird. Oh, it says 7:06. That's probably a glitch. Just get this done nice and quickly so that we're level at Suboff. So alt star, lock star. And we'll go ahead and dial up speed 180. So I can't see the runway because of the glare. Actually, no, that's the runway right there. Lovely. There we go, so now we're just waiting to intercept the glide slope. Currently 6 hours and 14 minutes in, but it should be taking us 6 hours 43 minutes, so we're about. I still have a bit of speed breakout, which I definitely don't want. It's checked. We're still waiting for the glide slope dot to come alive. Now my displays are not bright enough, which is quite funny. It's a bit better.
And Ryanair 3 Whiskey for higher now, contact Scottish 135.580, get it?
135.580 on that first speed systems, that was command.
And you know what, I'm just going to bring it all the way back up to full brightness because I can barely see it right now. Okay, so glide slope is alive now, so we're going to take flaps 2. Take speed 170 before we intercept.
Good evening, Ryanair 80 Charlie Delta 50240.
And the approach altitude 126.
Ryanair 80 Charlie Delta Dublin, good evening, confirm your squawk for me 7365.
877
Ryanair 80 Charlie Delta, Factory 3 Romeo arrival, ILS runway 10 left, descend now, flight level 160.
Is it now 160, Factory 3 Romeo 10 left, Ryanair 80 Charlie Delta.
Delta 292 fully established.
Delta 292, thanks, cleared for the approach, contact the tower for landing, 118.6, bye bye.
Clear for the approach to 186, Delta 292. It's kind of weird how he only just cleared us for the approach when he. I thought we were cleared earlier, but whatever. Okay, so Mr. Altitude is set to contact tower. Tower hello, Delta 292 heavy, ILS 210 left.
Delta 292, Dublin Tower, hello, 110 left, clear land, wind 140 degrees at 8 knots, bearing between 110 and 170 degrees.
Clear land 10 left to Delta 292. So that sounds like good fun. So it's probably going to be a nice crossing from the right. There's no ground online, so it's going to be just tower. Let's go gear down.
Okay, continue Whiskey 2 right Sierra and A firm, we can take Sierra 6 for 10 left, Shamrock 1 for the Mike.
Roger.
Gear comes out nice and slowly. And that's going to be flaps 3 landing, so we'll take flaps 3. And then we'll ding the cabin. Cabin, take your seats. We are cleared to land. Landing checklist. Landing checklist, ECAM memo. We're just landing on the cabin, but we're in the simulator, so we don't care. So landing checklist complete. I'll pilot off. So we got a nice 17 knot crosswind from the right, which should hopefully die down by the time we come down to land.
1,000. Shamrock 1 Charlie Mike, continue Sierra 6, line up on white for runway 10.
So now that we're landing flaps 3, it's going to be quite a high pitch upping
Sierra 6,
attitude
line
than
up the
what
right,
we're
going
used
to
to.
right, Shamrock 1 Charlie Mike.
Yeah, about 5 degrees pitch right now, which is very unusual for usually landing flaps full. Alright, cabin is ready now. So the winds are dying down a little bit and shifting more towards the runway, which is what I like to see. Makes my life a bit easier.
500.
500 feet stable. A little bit bumpy. So about 13 knot quartering headwind to minimums that we're continuing.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard 10.
Okay, spoilers. I have no reverse, but we have decel. I don't know why the reverse. There's a reverse. Reverse green. Okay, manual brakes. Reverse are stowed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome down to Dublin. That was quite a nice landing.
Ground time 50. Vacate right November 3. Right turn onto November.
Fine, November 3 right onto November, Delta 292. So, welcome down to Dublin, everybody. That was quite a nice landing, if I do say so myself.
140 degrees at 8 knots, varying between 110 and 170 degrees. Runway 10 right, clear takeoff, bye-bye.
10 right, clear takeoff, good night, Shamrock 1 Charlie Mike.
It's got a bit of power to get us following around.
Delta 292, continue November, hold short of runway 16. You can expect span 406 Charlie.
Okay, continue via November, hold short of runway 16, expect 406 Charlie, Delta 292. I'm not totally sure where he is taking us. So let's just go ahead and get Navigraph out. Sounds like we're going to be crossing the runway for some reason. So November to hold, huh?
And Delta 292 from November, left enter runway 16, hold short of taxiway Bravo 2.
Okay, via November, enter runway 16, hold short of Bravo 2, Delta 292. Okay, that's what we're doing here. Okay, so we're taking November here, taking the runway, and then we're holding short of Bravo 2, which is down here. That sounds like a plan to me. So 16 is not active, so we don't have to have strobes on. Let's go ahead and track the flaps. And the spoilers. Get rid of that so we can see. And we'll go ahead and get the APU starting. Get the APU starting so that we can do a single engine taxi in. So we want to do a PWS weather radar off. Sorry. And he said 406 center. Pier 1? No, it's going to be Pier 4. Pier 4, 406 center. No. Aer Lingus. Because I believe, Aer Lingus is One World, and so is Delta, so we'd be using them. So, like we said, we're continuing via runway 16 and runway holding short of Bravo 2, so right here. Which sounds good to me. Still got 11 tons worth. That's quite a lot of fuel, to say the least.
Delta 292, continue on runway 16. You can vacate on Bravo 2, Bravo 1 to stand 406. Charlie, have a good one.
Okay, continue via runway 16, vacate Bravo 2, Bravo 1, stand 406 Charlie, Delta 292. Okay, that sounds like a plan. So Bravo 2. So Bravo 2, and I assume this is what he's referring to Bravo 1, and then we'll take 406 center there. Which sounds good to me. So we can go ahead and which one do I want to shut down? No. Shut down engine 2 as standard single engine taxi in procedures. So 406 center. I'm going to turn off the landing light, or the taxi lights if you don't need it. Get some power in since we're slowing down quite a bit here. For some reason I can't hear anything of the engine. And in typical Newell VDGS faction, I get no readouts, which is lovely. So I don't know where we're going to be stopping. So we're just going to be winging it from the outside here. And I'll take the second from last. There we go. So parking brake, set APU is available, shut down engine 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dublin. 6 hours and 28 minutes after we left stand in Detroit. And we can turn off the beacon now. And get the boarding underway. Guess we get a nice little jetway sound from MK Studios. This is the MK Studios Dublin V2, which is nice and compatible for MSFS 2024. And I believe I flew out of Dublin last year across the pond as well. Well, quite simply, I love flying out of Dublin westbound because it's just all the shortest flights are from Dublin, which is really convenient. And what do you know, there's no sound from GSX, which is annoying as always. So let's get the APU bleed on. And we'll get the GPU connected so we can do that. And besides that, we are pretty much done. So let's go ahead and review our flight on Volcana and see how nice it was. So 216 feet per minute on landing rate, which is quite nice. I would gladly take that considering the crosswind I have. For some reason, whenever I fly with A330, there's always some sort of crosswind. But every time I manage to do a pretty good job in this thing. It's quite simply, I just really love the way that it handles. So I don't need that door, so we'll go ahead and close it. So yeah, welcome down to Dublin. Very quiet Dublin. Next time you see Dublin on this channel, it's going to be a lot more chaotic, and quite simply, it's going to be quite lucky for me to be able to find a stand since I have quite a late departure slot time. And don't mind GSX there. For some reason, the GSX profile on the A330-200 is just completely awful. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I definitely make sure that you stay tuned for Cross the Pond. That's going to be quite an exciting experience. It's probably going to be a part 1 and a part 2 for that video, landing and departure. Or maybe I'd combine it to one, do Oceanic as well. I'm not totally sure yet, we'll have to see. So if you made it this far into the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And until next time, I will see you guys soon for Cross the Ponds. I look quite forward to it. And I hope you guys too. So see you next time, and safe flying everybody.